What's going on, guys? It's Chad. Quick, I want to apologize for not uploading yesterday. I know that I ended up missing a day before that as well. So the one day I had the family dinner, we did our dinner like a day later. Friday just lined up better for everybody than Thursday. But also, by the way, I do have some audio settings and stuff that I've changed around a little bit. So let me know if there's any issues or whatever. But everything should be like crispy as shit now. Because on that Friday, I had that dinner. And then yesterday, I spent it setting up the new PC and just making sure like everything was just good. I could have actually uploaded yesterday, but you know, I was just gonna go and make sure that everything was just running right. Test stuff out, just, you know, stress tests and other shit. So we're back on the new PC. In multiplayer, I mean, this thing, I mean, it's right now I have it capped, but a lot of people are telling me stuff like, dude, no, you definitely gotta just let it fly, man. Let all the FPS go up there. It doesn't matter if you only have 240 hertz. If you could get 400 FPS, why not? I understand that it does actually help with latency and all that other stuff. I know that there's videos out there proving that latency, it does help in that way. Even if you don't technically get like the refresh rate and seeing it on the screen itself, this lower latency will always give you an advantage to some degree, and especially in a game where they don't even bother trying to like pay attention to your connection and they want to just sit there and match you in the game based on score per minute. Yeah, I have about 50 kills out of 1,000 on my Joker right now. I'm not even done with the gold challenge. This is terrible. It's really bad. I know people are gonna ask me to do it, so unlimited, I mean, it's not that much more than the 300. If we're looking up at the sky and shit, we're getting like 400 and shit sometimes. I mean, that's why I like recording and everything as well. So also I have some new render settings and shit like that with how like the megabits and stuff are on here. I also like have this whole Excel sheet thing, but there's this guy, this absolute legend, that made like an entire Excel sheet showing like the differences in quality and like the YouTube quality, pictures and side-by-side comparisons on how good different render resolutions look with a different amount of bit rates in comparison to others, running like different codecs and shit. And these are just test ones. I can like refine them a lot more. So I don't really know what I'm naming this video, but I've been making actual progress on some of the mastery challenges and stuff. So I unlocked the SPR charm. I think I could show you guys. Do I have it on here? Right here. You can see the charm right there on the side. That's literally 1,000 kills to see this little thing. I would have had this video up yesterday. I also saw that Dismo ended up putting his video up about mastering, I think he did the 725 first. That actually sounds fun, I'm not even gonna lie. I realized that at the start of these games, I like using all of the one-shot weapons. Any weapon that just can immediately end somebody with one shot, I'm a big fan of, and I probably have the most fun with. Also, another thing though, so if I could assume I could get like at least one of these charms, you know, a day, one weapon a day, that would take you like what, maybe just a month and a half? Imagine you just get one weapon a day and assume that would take 50 days, although let's be honest, the javelin and other stuff like that will definitely take more than one day. But certain weapons are just a lot easier than others, and that's also talking about going at the rate of Shoot House. Once we get shipment, that should speed up even more. I caught up on Blue Lock and Chainsaw Man, and instead of watching the World Cup, I'm watching an anime instead. So yeah, once you go through and go into the weapon mastery thing here, you end up unlocking obviously the calling card and the emblems, but once you finish all 4 of them, you end up getting the weapons charm right there. Completed all mastery challenges. So we have mastered the SPR, and we're on our way to master the SAB, which is almost the same weapon. And in some ways, this feels a little bit faster, maybe a little less consistent, but a bit faster. I only have, what, like 500 kills or so? I'm more than halfway through. And we already know that there's supposed to be some sort of reward at the end. That's what they said in their blog post. We know that there is a reward, we just don't know what it is. And the rumors, I've already talked about this before, but one of the rumors was that obviously we might be able to mix camos or potentially leak what that was, because when they initially ended up putting out the blog post before the game even came out, they had a different picture of the quote Orion camo. It looked like it was a mixture of multiple camos. And then they ended up removing it and changing to what we see now. So the idea was that that potentially could be the leaked thing. But then there's also the whole obvious thing of they kind of tend to be a little disappointing with a lot of this shit. But one thing that a lot of people didn't talk about, but over on, you know, Modern Warfare 2019, they kind of had this same system. And the reward at the end of it all, once you got all of the stuff for it, you got a calling card. I made multiple videos about that calling card too, saying it was the only thing that I wouldn't do. Given in that game, yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't do it in that game because it's not worth it. First of all, the game is worse than this game, and I wouldn't be able to stand having myself play it that entire time, I'm sorry. It wasn't fun. Orion was fun. Damascus wasn't fun. Obsidian wasn't fun. Once I get through all the polyatomic challenges, I really like the fact that I get to like cycle through all of my camos and stuff. It's really fun. And then you spend the majority of the time actually using Orion anyway. At first, I wasn't really sure how I felt about this system. After actually going through at least one of the weapons for the charm, I actually really enjoyed myself. Like the fact that I had to remember to switch the camos, and it reminded me like everything that I went through on the weapon as I was doing it, which is really the thing that mastery should be. Thinking around the level that you regularly do based on how the gunfight even Why would I want to hear myself through someone else's microphone? I have to hear myself enough every single day editing through this shit. Also, I've been actually seeing like a discussion around this. It's kind of strange, but the proximity chat in Warzone 2 it has been kind of actually been debated a little bit on whether or not it should or shouldn't be off. A lot of people are saying competitively you should just turn it off, don't mess around with it at all, blah blah blah. But a lot of people have been kind of using a lot of different strategies to kind of combat the sound in the game. Basically, if you have voice on, a lot of the people with horrible microphones that just like leave their controller, for example, as their microphone, they just unmute it and then they just let all of the noise just funnel through this. Can't hear anything once you get in range of them because it's so ridiculously loud. And also by default, the mic's volume is insanely loud. So just ambient noise in the background on someone's controller microphone is deafening enough to actually silence footsteps. It's the new dead silence. Listen, I'm all for anything that could actually make it harder to hear footsteps personally, but sometimes also it scares the ever-living shit out of you. You ever be playing solos, kind of uptight just a little bit jumpy? It's one thing to jump when your character gets shot from the loud ass, you got shot, you know what I mean? It's a whole different ball game once you hear somebody that would scare the shit out of me while I'm playing. Kind of expecting gunfire and things like that, maybe an explosion. I'm not expecting a voice chat close into my eardrums. The volume's crazy. Obviously, I can turn it down myself, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, the volume that people put shit through is crazy. Even if I do turn it down, there's just some people are just on a whole different level. They're on a whole separate plane of loud. I'm seeing some people say things like, we might be getting a new camo going into the new expansion, the rumored expansion on the game. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they added a new camo, to be honest with you. Yeah, they added a new camo to Modern Warfare 2019, but the game had 3 mastery camos, didn't it? This one has 4. Obsidian was the 4th one on Modern Warfare 2019 as a mastery camo, right? It was gold, platinum, Damascus, and Obsidian. That was the 4 of them. This game started with 4. You think they're gonna add a 5th one? I don't think they're gonna add a 5th one, personally. Unless that final challenge, actually unlocking all these charms, are actually that, I just don't see it. What would they even make the challenge? Because the mastery challenge to get 1,000 kills is basically the Obsidian challenge. Honestly, though, Obsidian was a couple thousand kills instead of 1,000 kills, but still. What are you gonna do? Make it available to only the small amount and probably like 2% of players that would even go that far to get it? They're gonna add an entire camo in? Obsidian made a lot more sense, but it doesn't make any sense to me, the business anyway, why they would even bother making an entirely new camo that literally like barely any players will actually get. You can say the same for Orion, but that's the original challenge. I'm saying as a threshold. If you think as a threshold you need the weapon charms in order to get to it, there's way too many hoops to jump through for anyone to realistically unlock it, at least across the game. Yeah, you have to do a lot for Damascus and stuff, but everybody knows that. Off rip. And Obsidian is the extra one. You don't have to do any prerequisites for it. You just do it. You pick a weapon that you like and you just do it. There's no hoops you have to jump through for it. My game crashed. I mean, that's just normal. That's the game. It is what it is. Happen regardless. I have to wake up early in the morning. I have to get like my car checked and shit like that. It's getting old. Yeah, I think like when I play Warzone, I'll probably lock it at 240. In multiplayer, I'll probably just either uncap, like if I get like a better monitor or whatever, or just like leave it capped at like 300 or a little bit above, because I still benefit from the latency, but the smoothness is really like what I'm trying to get with the most frames. We'll see how like the shipment frames are as well, because I can completely adjust everything just for shipment. If it literally comes down to I'll be able to play like lock 360 on shipment with the lowest settings possible, I will do that. I'll just play shipment the entire time anyway. Realistically, the only challenges we have left are literally all kill challenges. No circumstantial challenges. So there will be no reason to literally touch anything else, unless other than obviously enjoyment. But going for challenges isn't enjoyment. The enjoyment is telling people I'm done with the challenge, not doing it. But once you're done, that's the feeling I'm looking for. I know I've been uploading mostly multiplayer, but I've also been moving PC setups and other shit. So not to mention, does anyone else think that the very large glint scopes are actually kind of like, having the large glint over you is actually kind of insane? Because yes, they can see where you are in terms of like glint, but you actually can't even see the people. Like if they're far enough away, you can't even see their body because of the glint. The glint is so insane that you can't even make it out. You just have to kind of shoot towards the light. It kind of feels like trying to kill somebody in Black Ops 4 when they were using the flashlight thing, the flashlight shotgun. It feels like that, but long range. I could just save like the what, 4,000 or 5,000 kills for the shotguns for shipment. We assume shipment is probably coming out in like a couple weeks, so I could probably just do other things in the process leading up to it. Yeah, you get the gist of it though. It's literally just the grind. You just go through, smash your face game after game after game after game, and you just make incremental steps every single game, and you get 1,000 kills. 1,000 kills sounds like a lot, but honestly, it could go by pretty quickly in a few hours, especially if you start managing to average, you know, like 50 plus kills a game or something like that. It's really not that bad. You could definitely finish at least one a day. Although I will say that I've been trying to get kills with this Joker this whole time, and I mean, we got 55. I'm telling you right now, once I go and actually actually finish this and get all 1000, I'm definitely running around with the Orion emblem and calling card. That is psychopath shit. It's the only way to play multiplayer at this point. You just go so far that people just don't believe. And this is way easier than the Obsidian thing, so it'll happen in time. No rush, though.